Hello and welcome back. I'm Lygo and this is My Life in Football Manager episode 51, and today we've got the season review and summer transfers. But before we get into them, just want to say if you enjoyed the episode, do leave a thumbs up down below, it helps me out hugely. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. And with that out of the way, let's get started. And our season review, let's take a look at the new arrivals. And I'm not going to dwell on this too much, we're going to whiz through this fairly quickly. Transfers, looking good, board happy with all of them, and signing of the season goes to Carvajal. Very interesting. He missed half of the season, but when he was there, he performed well. This season's results. Confirmation of our 4th place finish. We're also nearly selling out the King Power Stadium, which is interesting. 96% average home attendance, so we might need to be expanding that next year or in the coming future. There's confirmation as well of the league table, which we saw in the last episode, and there's our competition results. We don't need to worry about them too much. Moments to remember. They look like this. Our biggest win was a 5-0 home win against Stoke. The match to remember was our stuffing of Norwich around Christmas time, where we beat them 5-1. And goal of the season was, I think that's Reginaldo Ramirez. Unfortunately, still can't see that from this screen. Finances looking much better since we've made the transfers we have over the past 18 months or so. Club reputation is continental. No new sponsorships to report of, but the sponsorship is up from last season. But broadcast revenue down a little bit, not too significantly. And we're also going to get that sweet Champions League money. Corporate and hospitality is up. Competition prize money, huge, well, I say hugely up. About 12 million, that's not insignificant. And match day and commercial retail is up as well. Shirt sales, 55,000 sold. We expect a little bit more from a club Leicester's size, but no surprise that Ramirez is the top seller. And moving on to how we lined up, our best 11 this season: Schlager in goal, Araujo, Soyuncu, Barrionuevo and Luis at the back. Irineu, Garner and Vieira in midfield, Barnes, Ramirez and Vargas interestingly up front. Now I'd made a couple of changes there. I think Schlager played well when he came in, but I still think Carvajal was better. I'd probably agree with the back four and the midfield. Left wing was a huge troubled area. We got 3 established left wingers, none of them playing well, so I think that's going to be an area to recruit on in the summer. And then between Vargas and Bazuba up front, both of them are chipping in with plenty of goals, but for me, Bazuba would probably just edge it. Moving on to the accolades, we won Premier Manager of the Month for December and April. Player awards, Flan's Player of the Season, Ramirez, who also got Young Player of the Season, and Goal of the Season. Top scorer we saw was Bazuba, most assists was Ramirez, most man of the matches was Ramirez with 10. Unfortunately, Harry Kane holds the record of the Premier League with 11. So he couldn't quite make it there. And this is a new one down here. I've not seen this before. Most passes completed per 90, with Irineu 64 passes per 90. So a good season from them. Let's wrap that up. With the season review done, let's come have a look at our team report and our squad depth, and let's identify what we're going to look at in the transfer market. We've got 2 goalkeepers, Carvajal and Schlager. I think both of them I'm happy enough with. Carvajal still has plenty of potential. Schlager is a very good backup, as we've seen throughout last season. And he's also English, so helps with the Champions League registration. So I'm not going to be prioritising a goalkeeper. Right backs, we've got Eduardo Luis and Matty Cash. I think if Cash moves on, maybe we could look for a backup right back. But again, Cash being English, his versatility, very good for the Champions League. Centre backs, we've got Soyuncu. We know he's going to be moving on. He's already requested to leave. Eduardo Luis is our right back. Barrionuevo, Lopez and Sandoval are the other 3 centre backs. Happy with them. We've also got 1 pre-arranged transfer. I'm not going to spoil that right now, but he's already coming in to replace Soyuncu. That was done quite a while back. At left back, we've got Araujo and Bensebaini, who Bensebaini will be moving on. He was not wanted in the first place, so I'll get rid of him this year. Araujo, if we get the right offer, we'll probably move on, but left back is probably an area that we could strengthen. Araujo, good enough to be backup at this point, but maybe not a starter. Moving forward into the midfield, defensive midfielders, we've got Irineu and who was the other one? I think Espinoza was the other one. Let's have a look, more players. Yeah, Espinoza is the other one with bags of potential, so I think between the 2 of them, they're going to get plenty of game time. And then there's other players that can fill in. We've got Xavier Schlager. Played a lot of games, 31 years old now. He's going to be moving on. Didn't really play too much last year. So I think we're okay in that position. Centre of midfield, we've got Xavier as our Mazzala. Garner, who Initially I was thinking of moving him on, but he's had such a good season, 26 games. Didn't contribute too much in the way of goals, but an average rating of 7.03. And look at his passing and tackling, he's very much contributing in the middle of midfield there. So I think with him being 28 years old, he's a senior player in the team, he's English. I think I'm going to keep him around, especially with us in the Champions League and thinking about registration. Looking further back amongst our midfielders, we've got Jack Hercules, our other box-to-box midfielder. He's going to get more game time and should start to improve and move towards that wonder kid status he was. So happy with him as our backup box-to-box midfielder. The only thing I think we're possibly missing is looking up and down there, maybe a replacement, or not so much a replacement, but a backup to Xavier. The only player that's really done that so far, and I can't see him on the list, Quintero, right at the bottom of the list. So maybe better quality backup for Xavier, but again, not so much a priority. And then looking at our front three, we know Ramirez is going to be our key player again on this right-hand side. We will replace him if he goes. If not, he's very much going to be our star player. Bazuba and Vargas, two very good striker options. Left-hand side of midfield, we've already identified this. This is a big problem area for us, so that's going to be the main priority. And then because Bazuba is capable of playing out on the left, maybe getting a striker, I don't know, we'll see how the squad builds out, but very much this left-hand side, left back and left wing are going to be our key priorities this summer. So let me get going with the transfers and I'll come back to you at the end of the transfer window. So I've made it through to September the 1st and we have had a very busy summer and a little bit of frustration as well. Some ups, some downs, but we'll go through all of that now. And we'll start with the back end of last season before the season ticked over. We've got 3 players coming in. 2 young players, Charles Robinson and Leon Monaghan. I'm not going to go through them. But a big signing in Marcelo Torrico from Espanyol, €75 million. I think he's going to be our problem solver on the left wing. 20-year-old Spanish wonder kid, already capped at under 23 level, and look at the ability he's got. Slight weakness in natural fitness, but I'm not expecting him to get up and down the line too much. His crossing does leave something to be desired, but in terms of his overall product, I think he's going to be a driving force down that left hand side. Can also play through the middle as well if needs be, but if we look at his last season at Espanyol, and this is a team that finished mid-table, he averaged a 7.28 rating, 14 goal contributions including 10 goals, so I'm expecting big things from him down the left-hand side. So he was our first big signing. And if we go look at the outs before we move on to what is technically now this season. First of all, we've got Soyuncu leaving. That was expected. He's moved on to Bristol City, €20 million, which I think for a 33-year-old centre-back that was dropping down our pecking order, yes, he's still putting in the performances, but I think that's a good deal. Unfortunately, Reginaldo Ramirez has moved on to Man United. Very disappointed with this. One of our best players last season, and all we have to do is go to the history. 16 goals, 11 assists, 10 man of the matches, averaging a 7.61 across the season. But Man United came in, offered €119 million up front, which triggered his minimum release clause. So up he left, and he's gone to the title holders. It's not a bad move for him. He's probably getting paid a fortune. Yeah, he's 275 grand a week as well. So personally for him it's very good, but for us it's a massive disappointment. We also then moved on Todd Cantwell. He's left to go down south to West Ham. He's headed to the capital, and I think it was 20 million, was it? I missed that. 25 million we got for Todd Cantwell. Player that was just frustrating, brought in by the previous manager. 38 million, which was a bit of a waste to be honest. Had a decent first season in terms of average rating, but what's that? That's only 16 goal contributions across nearly 60 games. It's a little bit disappointing. So I expected more from him. He moved on. He's also 31 years old, so continuing to refresh the squad with younger players. Now let's move over on to the new season. Starting again with the ins, we've got Xavier Schlager and Ayomikun James, 2 young players that have come in. Centre-back that we brought in from Racing Club, Nicolas Bacola, Argentinian centre-back, another wonder kid, 20-year-old, international, full international this time as well. Already very well developed, has hit the ground running. I think he's going to be a big acquisition at the back. Following Bacola through the door was Joel Wehurst and Antoine Philippe, 2 huge signings, 85 million and 84 million respectively. George Wehurst, 4-star current ability, 4-star potential, was showing us 5-star on the scout report. He's an elite striker. and he's a complete forward. He can do everything. Maybe he could improve on the finishing, but just look at those stats. He's quick, he's 6'2", strong, good in the air, able to pass the ball as well. He's a striker with goal-scoring pedigree, 16 caps and 11 goals for Holland already. And if we look back at his previous seasons, you can see, going back the last 3 years for Utrecht, he's scoring 16, 18, 15, also chipping in with assists, and look at those average ratings as well. I think 85 million is a lot of money, but I think he's going to be a big player for us. And then the other player, Philippe, coming from Lyon, strengthening that left back position. Another player, strong fullback, bags of potential. Also very good current ability as well. And 22-year-old French international, consistently playing in France for Lyon, who are top end of the league, I believe, in France. Yeah, third in the league. We had to pay a lot of money to get him, but I think he's going to massively improve the defence. And with them two brought in, we really didn't need anything else in terms of first team squad. So moving on from there was very much younger players. We got Christopher Aguilar coming, Chilean 20-year-old full international left back, can also play right back as well, interesting enough. Very much a squad player, potential to develop. Matt Bradshaw we have brought in but loaned back to Norwich. Young English midfielder with bags of potential, so hopefully he can develop down at Norwich. And then we spent 67 million for Gianluca Petrozzulo, another centre-back. Can also play right back, but will be playing centre back. A wonder kid, 6'2", strong, bags of pace, bags of ability, bags of potential. Another complete centre back. I think he's going to go on to big things for us. And the final signing was really just to please George Weghorst in the fact that he wanted to strengthen the midfield still. So Yannick Hauseiler has come in from Liverpool. He was a nailed-on starter for them last year and also cost them 89 million in the process. Dropped down in their pecking order because of the additions that they'd made, so we were happy enough to bring him in on loan. Not going to splash out on huge money when we can bring him in on loan and just satisfy the squad, keep them happy. So I'm very happy with the business in. Business out, I'm even happier with. A couple of ones I wish I'd have got more money for, but you can only get what people are offering. Mikkel Damsgaard has gone to PSG. Why they wanted him, I don't know. 29-year-old Danish international. Again, similar to Todd Cantwell, didn't do the business, but to be fair, didn't get the same opportunities. So 47 million for him was huge money for us. Xavier Schlager has gone to Monaco for 12 million. Just a player that unfortunately is aging and dropping down the pecking order. Mohamed Salah we still couldn't get work permit for. His potential seems to have dried up. He's still got the technical attributes to be a good player, but figured brought him in for 3.5 million. We can continue to loan him out and keep his development going. Nigel McDonnell is a player that unfortunately his potential is just drying up through not playing, so he's gone to St Etienne for 11 million. Then we've got a load of more players, mainly young players going out on loan. Alex Schwartz is another notable name going to Ajax. 1.2 million we've got for his loan this year, so hopefully he can play plenty of games for Ajax, continue his development. If not, he's worth 37 million. He was brought in for 20 million. He's a player that's going to be made profit on, so good news either way on that one. Then as we came towards the end of the window, Thiago Rojo was still a little bit unsettled. I think he was kind of getting the itch to move on. Leeds came in with a 36 million euro offer, so I did reluctantly accept it. His versatility was useful. Mainly played as a left back, but could also fill in if needs be anywhere else. So a little bit of a disappointment to lose him. And then the other big loss was Lucas Barrionuevo wanted a new contract. I offered him, he turned it down, and then really got upset that I didn't offer him a contract that he wanted. So he requested a transfer. Unfortunately, we only got 35 million in the end. He's gone on to Bayern Munich, so you can see the calibre he had, but unfortunately, I didn't want unhappy players at the club, so I'd rather take the 35 million, which is why we went and got Petrozzulo. Yes, we splashed out a lot more, but we have plenty of money in the bank, which if I come to the finances, you can see even after all that transfer activity, we've still got 79 million in the bank, still got 95 million of a transfer budget. And more importantly, the wage budget has been cut to 2 million now, even though the board are giving us 2.7 million. So in terms of finances, we are very flexible, very, very healthy position. And overall now that leaves the squad depth looking like this. I'm not going to go through it all. If you want to have a look at this, just pause it. But as you can see, plenty of strength in depth. Maybe a goalkeeper is the last piece of the puzzle, but we'll see how this squad gets on with the new season. And to do that, make sure you keep an eye out for the next video. So leave a thumbs up down below if you've enjoyed this one. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager content on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, including to see how this squad gets on in the Champions League. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.